Almost everyone entering this business has incorrect preconceived notions about how this game actually works, which is why you feel like you're going to fail at any minute. And even though I don't know everything, I've been in it for 20 years and been around the block enough times to know and understand why it seems hard for many of you all. So if you want to ease some of your concerns about the difficult hidden corners of the music game, tune in to today's episode of the Music Money Makeover Show. Now, one of the things that I had to learn about this business is that artists actually make more money from their influence than their music itself, right? Especially when you're just getting started in this game. Most artists don't realize that their influence alone can generate enough income to sustain them, while artists only make direct money from their music if they own the entire production and manufacturing operation. Most can't afford this setup or lack the expertise to run it, right? Now, that's why many turn to record deals, but they're actually overlooking their most valuable asset, which is their influence. And the real gold mine lies in using that influence to promote other brands and other products. So though this might challenge your preconceptions about the music business, embracing influencer marketing for yourself as an artist will make the industry much clearer to understand. If you choose not to leverage your influence, then you'll need to learn how to control your entire creative operation from start to finish. Otherwise, you risk ending up broke and beaten down by the game. And I don't want that to really happen to you. So artists tend to seek record labels because they don't know how to build a business, or they scale too fast, or the growth and explosiveness happens so fast that they needed the label. And in many cases, a lot of them only just know how to create. I'm speaking to you all. And successful independent artists understand how to build their business, their music business, if you will, which is why only a few actually make it independently. Or if they do make it, it lasts for a short while. They can make some money and then they just take that money and reinvest it somewhere else and start another business and then go off doing their thing. But in many cases, for the artists, they'll go seek that deal because, again, you guys create, that's the first thing you did. You got a little bit of stuff off of YouTube on how to market and promote a little bit. The song just so happened to be, recorded really, really well. It was written well. It was an excellent song, and it went and had some type of viral moment. And the next thing you know, you sign a deal with an independent label who has a distribution deal with a major, or it's a step up deal, and you just like, yo, let's get in it, right? There's an advance. I'm not making this money right now. Let me get this money. Let's go, right? Now, you don't have any more in the back, and you don't have the patience to learn because I didn't know what I was doing to get here, but I knew I wanted to make some money and I'm making money, but you just essentially signed up for another job. So this could be a long conversation, but the point is, if you don't own your entire operation, the amount of money that you're gonna make off music is gonna be very, very small. So you wanna leverage your influence because that's where the real money can be made, right? And I'll harp on this a little bit and we'll keep going. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me recently, from Pellegrino, the water, to Ray-Bans for the glasses. And I'm like, yo, I'm not selling all of this stuff. Like, I have a different focus. But at the same time, these things may entice you and you might have a big following and you'll say, hey, I'll do your post for X amount of dollars. I'll do a post for 1,000 for your brand. Let's go. Or 500 or whatever it is, right? Depending on your following. And that might work for you. And this is what I mean. You can make money really, really fast with that. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because that could be a whole other video. All right, so let's keep going. Most lawyers bait with contracts and then they switch it up with transactions. So let me say what I mean. The truth about most lawyers is that they always bait you with contracts because they know you need it. However, most lawyers specialize in making deals rather than just drafting contracts. It's best to work with the lawyer when you're ready to actually negotiate better offers, as that's their actual expertise. They're called transactional lawyers for good reason. And while they may seem expensive, they're typically willing to work on commission. Because without legal representation, scaling this entire business that you got becomes extremely difficult, and it's actually nearly impossible to do it due to the legal complexity. So I want you to start by working with them on individual cases before moving to a retainer and commission arrangement. This approach will help you find the right lawyer for your needs. So let me break down how attorneys are transactional based. When I was getting started in music publishing, I wanted to represent a semi-major artist now who has a pretty decent following. And I had all of the steps written out to the 60-day record label course. I knew it worked, and I had access to international collection without a sub-publisher. And the methods that I was using was not something that a typical attorney would look at as this is how the major labels do it. They don't really dabble in publishing like that. They dabble in actually making deals happen. And because the deal did not contain a dollar amount for the client, it didn't make sense for the attorney to work on that specific deal because they weren't going to get paid and the artist wasn't going to get paid. And so with that being said, I was reduced to actually doing the services instead of being under contract. And I just did it for experience. I mean, you live and you learn, but I needed the experience to do it. And I got access to a lot of major labels and a lot of accounts that I wouldn't have had access to had I not taken the opportunity anyway. But this just goes to show you how attorneys are actually focused on transactions. Many of them are, because that's how they really get paid. Like, they're not getting paid from writing you a contract. They are, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what they really want to do. They actually want to negotiate your business dealings under contract through legal instruments. That's really how they make their money. Right now, attorneys are a different question and a different conversation. I'm only specifically talking about lawyers. All right, now let's keep going. The key to publishing is duplication. If you get this, you got it. The biggest misunderstanding about music publishing is that you should only make and record your song once. In reality, music publishing thrives on duplication. The system is designed to create multiple masters of the original composition. Blocking this process prevents the natural power of music publishing from working. All right. Now, while you should use this strategy thoughtfully, creating several versions of the same composition can increase both exposure and revenue for your original works. Failing to do this leaves significant money on the table. So when you get this sequence right, your music publishing revenue can actually grow exponentially. All right, so let me break it down to make it simple for you. LiAngelo Ball, aka Jello, has a song out called Tweaker. Recently, a song or a different version called the Tweaker Shuffle, remade by King Wallonius, the AI music producer, went viral on TikTok. Okay, and everybody's doing this dance or whatever line dance they're making up to this song. This is the example of what music publishing can do. While the master version belongs to King Wallonius, the publishing all belongs to LiAngelo Ball and the other producer, because essentially when you do a remix or a remake like that, chances are you won't get any publishing unless you negotiate a good deal with them, okay? Now, because this happened, the publisher can keep making more money. And that's the whole point. You wanna make different versions for different audiences. And when you can do that, you maximize the entire music business that's yours, not the industry, but your music business. I know the word music business doesn't really make sense. You think about the whole thing, but no, you run a music business. And then there's the music industry. So if you want to exponentially grow your music business and take control of your operations, then actually making multiple versions of your songs for different audiences will be a key game changer for you. Let's keep going. If you know how to sell, you can place songs anywhere. The reason why music producers and writers cannot place their songs successfully is because they don't know the art of sales. And while artists excel at creating, they often need someone else to handle the selling. So the person selling the songs must thoroughly understand three things. Check it out: product itself, the associated rights, and the customer's needs. For many writers and producers, managing these aspects while focusing on creation is overwhelming. But if you can master the art of sales as you produce or as you write, that's fantastic. But if not, you need to find someone who can make these sales happen for you. Otherwise, your great creations risk remaining forever trapped on your hard drive. The key here is proper cataloging and making sure the customer actually gets the proper payoff they're looking for, right? And if you understand how to do that, cool, we winning. If you don't, we not. What I mean cataloging is using something like disco.ac, even though the sync industry normally uses it the most, it's still great for slanging your songs. Proper metadata, cleared splits, notating things if you got a sample, BPMs, lyric sheets, all this type of stuff catalog and organized, so when you get ready to start slinging, you can make the sales happen faster. Anything you can make a sale happen fast, do it. Have the session files ready to go if you need it. Have the multi-tracks or at least the stems for those who might need a little extra mixing, but they ain't really ready to make the purchase yet and all that stuff. And make sure that you let people know that this stuff is protected copyright wise. That's gonna allow you to get out here and start slanging for real, for real. All right, now, of course, there are other tactics that can be talked about, but I ain't got enough time in this video. So let's keep rolling here. Now, when I figured this out, this made the industry a whole lot easier. And I might say that this actually freed a lot of people from their situations that they were in. You calculate how much the record label makes off your deal using this formula. The secret to knowing how much you're in debt to the record labels is by using one simple formula. You want to take the total expenses, including the recording costs, the marketing, and the royalty costs, and divide it by your artist royalty rate. This gives you the final amount needed to actually pay the record label back in full. As an artist, not knowing this number could actually land you in a serious predicament. For independent record label owners, failing to track this number is grounds for actually deal termination. So since it prevents proper auditing, this situation hurts everyone involved. Artists lose their deals, labels lose money, and both parties face legal costs. That's why it's crucial for both sides to understand this and use this formula. The label must maintain accurate books, and artists must monitor these numbers to track their debt obligations. So let me express to you how this formula works. Let's say that you have a 17% artist royalty rate, and that 17% came around because the royalty rate was 20%. You had to allocate 3 of it to pay all the producers on the projects that you have. So you're left with 17. We take that 17%, and let's just say for one album independently, the whole budget was $100,000, including the royalty costs, which are the mechanical royalties from physical albums that were sold at shows, because yes, you do have to pay that to publishers, and mechanical royalties paid by the label to the publishers are an expense against the money made. So let's say all in 100 grand was spent for the period. So we take the 100 grand and we divide it by the 17%, and then we're left with $588,235.29. So this is more like almost like 5.8 times the dollar, right? So if they loaned you one, or you had, the costs were $1, then you got to pay back $5.08, something like that. In order to make your first royalty, you'd have to make the label back 5.8 times the dollar, or $5.88 before you could actually make some money, which is a lot. You know what I mean? This is how artists don't really know how much they're in debt to the labels. And inside the 60-day record label course, in the 360 deal section under video 11, I explained the inner workings of where this total amount actually comes from. Like, I just gave you the calculation, but I go in depth as to how that works. Now, you might say, what if I don't want to sell other stuff? And I get it. I understand where you at, but not wanting to sell merchandise or other products isn't really the problem. Fear of diluting your artistic brand is. You know what I mean? That's really what you're faced with. However, that's not a good reason to avoid exploring additional revenue streams, because many successful artists have proven that merchandise and brand partnerships can actually enhance their artistic identity rather than, compromising it. So you want to get around this whole situation of resistance by starting small first, and then choose products that authentically align with your music and your brand. And you want to begin with basic merchandise like t-shirts or limited edition vinyl or limited edition t-shirts. And then you want to expand based on fan response. And if you avoid the merchandise aspect and alternative revenue streams of this whole debacle, then you'll likely struggle financially and depend entirely on streaming revenue, which rarely provides sustainable income for most artists. But if you embrace strategic merchandising and those partnerships, you can create multiple streams while actually building stronger connections with your fans, ultimately giving you more creative freedom and financial stability, right? Now, I know the next one is coming, and it's, if no one knows you, why would you create multiple versions of your song? Okay, well, having a small audience is not the issue, right? Fear of wasting time and resources on multiple versions is. And it might be the fact that I don't know if I can do this again, right? I don't know if I can create a song this great again, or a different version this great again. But I want you to explore the possibility of it, even if you don't do it, right? Because if you can create multiple versions of your songs, they can actually help you reach different audiences and maximize your song's potential. So what is a healthy artist royalty to aim for if you're actually the label, right? Because you don't want to screw your artist. You know what that 17% looked like earlier. So for new artists, I recommend aiming for a 30% artist royalty rate, though I wouldn't go above 35% unless they're already operating or generating significant revenue or at least willing to invest their own capital into the project. This rate balances fair compensation with the label's need to recoup investments in marketing, production, and promotion, okay? Higher rates might seem attractive, but they can actually make it harder for labels to invest properly in artist development and marketing, which ultimately hurts both parties, okay? The key is finding a sustainable rate that allows both the artist and the label to grow at the same time together. Here's what you can do, because I want you to enter this game with force, right? If you're a music creative or you're a new executive looking to build your label or publishing company in 60 days or less with a step-by-step foolproof process, grab the 60-day record label course right now beneath this video and get it going today. You'll gain access to actual real funding, prevent yourself from getting screwed contractually, and keep the middleman out of your pockets. Click the link below to get started right now. And if you're skeptical about how all this will work, grab the free guide, 10 major ways or 10 ways to increase your record label's profits. A free split sheet comes with the download. Last thing is I want you to join the Music Money Makers community today, because even if you don't get started there, everybody in the community is going to tell you what a wonderful course it is and how you can actually get going faster in that than actually sitting around searching the internet for what could possibly be an answer to your question here, there, or everywhere, wasting another 90 days this year. But if you dig into what I've discussed in this video today, then here's what's going to happen for you. You'll understand how to leverage your influence for sustainable income so you can finally build a stable music career without really solely relying on record sales, right? You'll master the legal and business aspect of music publishing, because you gotta have that, so you can maximize your earnings through strategic duplication and proper rights management. And then finally, you'll develop the sales skills needed to place your music effectively so you can turn your creative work into consistent revenue streams. On top of all of this, you'll gain complete clarity on record label economics so you can make informed decisions about deals and maintain control of your financial future. But I guarantee you this, without proper knowledge of the industry, you'll actually lose thousands in potential revenue and opportunities. And then your artistic vision and creative freedom will actually be compromised by bad deals and exploitative contracts. And you'll face the difficult choice between staying independent or signing away your rights for quick money. I don't want you to be in that situation. That's what this whole video was about. At the end of the day, transform yourself from someone who feels overwhelmed by complex music industry mechanics, struggling to create sustainable income from your music. You'll understand how to leverage your influence and artistic value for sustainable income while confidently making informed decisions about contracts, publishing, and business partnerships. Music Money Makers. If you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course beneath this video, grab the free stuff, join us in the all-new Music Money Makers community, where I'll see you every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're actually going to add another day. We were talking about that the other day. So you might be able to join me 2 times a week now, right? In there, and we're going to get it popping inside that community. Anyway, share this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.